Captain Ellis stood on the bridge of the starship Odyssey, eyes fixed on the large viewport that framed the endless blackness of space. The distant stars twinkled faintly against the velvet dark, but it was the rocky mass drifting nearby that held everyone's attention. Captain Lieutenant Rao's voice broke the silence, steady but laced with disbelief. "Sensors are failing to scan that asteroid." Ellis frowned. "Failed. All systems. Every sensor array is giving erratic readings. It's like the asteroid is blocking our scans somehow." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Asteroids didn't just block sensors, they were inert rock drifting through space. There was no reason for their equipment to fail. Ellis took a step forward and focused on the asteroid. The Odyssey had been assigned to patrol this sector of uncharted space near the outer edges of the galaxy, monitoring for any unusual activity. So far, it had been quiet, until now. "Bring us closer," Ellis ordered. "Let's get a better look." The ship's engines hummed, and the Odyssey slowly adjusted its course. Sensors attempted once again to scan the asteroid, but the readings flickered and faded. Suddenly, the rocky surface shifted. "What in the row?" gasped. The asteroid's jagged outline seemed to ripple. A section of rock rotated smoothly, forming a shape that looked remarkably like a hand. Then, in a slow, deliberate motion, it raised the hand upward in a gesture unmistakably familiar, a salute. Silence fell over the bridge. "Did that asteroid just ... salute us?" Ensign Kim asked. Eyes wide, Ellis swallowed, trying to process what he had just seen. "Report all systems. Any sign of life?" Lieutenant Rowe shook his head. "Nothing we've seen before, Captain. No life signs, no heat signatures. It's like the rock itself is moving intelligent movement." Dr. Kim, the ship's xenolinguist and communications officer, stepped forward, her fingers tapping rapidly on a tablet. "If this is intentional, it's the most overt form of communication I've ever seen from an unknown entity." Ellis nodded. "Slowly, keep trying to scan and analyze. If this is some kind of contact, we need to be ready." Over the next several hours, the crew studied the asteroid's behavior. Each time the Odyssey adjusted its position, the rock seemed to respond, moving subtly to face the ship, or tilting to catch the light in different ways. It was as if the asteroid was aware of their presence, trying to communicate without words. Dr. Kim worked with the science team to decode the patterns. "It's more than movement. There are sequences, like a pulse or a rhythm embedded in the shifting rock. I believe it's a message, though we don't yet know the language." Captain Ellis considered the possibilities. Could this be a natural phenomenon, a rare mineral formation that mimicked human gestures? Or was this asteroid something else entirely, a sentinel, a vessel, or even a being? "Open a channel," Ellis ordered. "If you can hear us, respond." Static crackled over the comms. The crew waited, breaths held. Seconds stretched into minutes. No response then. Just as suddenly as it had saluted, the asteroid's surface shifted again. This time, the rough face split into smooth panels that slid apart, revealing a faint glow from within. The Odyssey sensors flickered wildly before shutting down completely. Sensor scan failed. Rowe reported grimly. "We're losing all data. Isolate affected systems," Ellis commanded. "Try to regain control." On the main display, the glow inside the asteroid pulsed in time with a new pattern, one that looked less like a salute and more like a beckoning invitation. Ellis felt a chill run down his spine. Something was alive inside that asteroid. Something waiting. Later in the captain's quarters, Ellis stared at the blinking alert on his console. The asteroid had gone silent, but its presence remained a mystery. "Prepare an away team," Ellis decided aloud. "We're going to find out what's inside that rock." Dr. Kim looked up, determination shining in her eyes. This could be the most important first contact in history. Ellis nodded. or the most dangerous. As the Odyssey prepared to send its crew toward the enigmatic asteroid, one thing was clear. The galaxy had just become a lot stranger. The Odyssey's shuttle Endeavour detached smoothly from the main ship. Captain Ellis, Dr. Kim, Lieutenant Rowe, and a small team of engineers boarded the vessel, their suits gleaming under the shuttle's internal lights. Every one of them felt the weight of the unknown pressing in as they approached the enigmatic asteroid. Outside the viewport, the asteroid drifted silently, a monolith against the black backdrop of space. Yet to the crew, it was alive, mysterious, and unpredictable. Preparing to dock, the pilot announced. The shuttle maneuvered carefully toward a flat surface that had suddenly appeared on the asteroid's outer shell. Like a landing platform, the moment the Endeavour touched down, sensors flared again. But this time, the data streams were richer, more complex. The asteroid's surface wasn't simply rock. It was a shifting lattice of nanoscale structures. "Looks like the surface is alive," said Engineer Park, eyes wide as he analyzed the readouts. "Nano-machines. They're reconfiguring the exterior." Dr. Kim examined the data on her tablet. "It's a form of camouflage. The asteroid isn't just a rock. It's a living machine designed to observe without detection." Captain Ellis ran a hand through his hair. But why? And who built it? The shuttle's doors hissed open, and the team stepped onto the asteroid's surface. Instead of cold rock, they found a strange texture, like a crystalline skin that seemed to pulse under their feet. "Careful where you step," Ellis warned. "We don't know what triggers anything here." As they advanced, a faint humming filled the air, a vibration that resonated in their chests. Suddenly, the crystalline surface shifted beneath them, rearranging itself into patterns resembling GLYPHS. Dr. Kim knelt to study the shapes. "These are symbols language, but unlike anything I've seen before." Ellis activated the ship's portable scanner. The device emitted bursts of light and sound, trying to match frequencies with the symbols. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the symbols on the ground glowed softly, responding in kind. "Communication," Kim whispered. "It's a dialogue, but not with words. It's more like dance of light and vibration." As the team watched, the glowing patterns grew more complex, almost like a story unfolding before their eyes. Engineer Park pointed to a section of the asteroid. "This part of the surface looks like a map. It's showing star systems, ... coordinates." Frowned. "Could it be a warning?" Dr. Kim nodded slowly. "Possibly. The pattern changes near one star, highlighted in red." The team exchanged uneasy looks. "This asteroid isn't just alive," Ellis said carefully. "It's sentient. And it's trying to tell us something important." Back on the Odyssey, the science team scrambled to interpret the incoming data. Every signal the asteroid sent was layered with meaning, encoded in bursts of light and electromagnetic pulses. "Decoding it will take time," Dr. Kim explained, overcomes. "But there's something else. Something about this message feels urgent." Suddenly, the asteroid pulsed strongly, and the ship's sensors went haywire again. "Captain, it's reacting to our efforts," Rowe warned. "It's alive in a way we didn't expect." Ellis gripped the edge of the command console. "Keep trying. We need to understand what it wants." Hours passed as the Odyssey's crew worked tirelessly. Slowly, patterns emerged, a story of guardianship, observation, and a warning about an approaching danger beyond the known galaxy Tentinel. Alpha, the asteroid's name in the newly uncovered language, had been placed here long ago by an ancient civilization to watch over emerging species. Ellis's voice was low but resolute. "If Sentinel Alpha is real and what it's warning us about is truth, in this mission just became far bigger than we imagined." As night fell on the Odyssey, the asteroid remained a silent sentinel in the void. Its salute had been more than a greeting. Neat was a call to attention. The crew prepared for what might come next, knowing that the fate of many could hinge on the message locked inside that living rock. The Endeavour's crew stood in silent awe as they probed deeper into the asteroid's living surface. The crystalline skin beneath their boots pulsed with subtle light, a rhythmic heartbeat beneath the cold void of space. It was becoming clearer. With every passing moment, this was no mere rock, but a sentinel of incredible complexity. Dr. Kim knelt beside one glowing panel, her fingers lightly touching the surface. These nanomachines aren't just structural, they're sensors, processors, even communicators, she explained. This asteroid is a living machine. It's been watching. Captain Ellis exchanged a glance with Lieutenant Rowe. Watching. Whom? Watching what? Before Dr. Kim could answer, the ground trembled gently, and the surface of the asteroid rippled. Panels slid apart smoothly, revealing an internal chamber bathed in soft blue light. The chamber was shaped like a dome, lined with countless geometric patterns that glowed faintly. An interior. Engineer Park exclaimed, stepping inside cautiously. "This thing's bigger than it looks." Ellis nodded. "It's a ship-a-vessel disguised as an asteroid." Dr. Kim's eyes shone with excitement, and its creators wanted it to go unnoticed, to observe without interference. A sudden vibration pulsed through the chamber. A holographic projection flickered to life above the center console swirling. Three-dimensional map of nearby star systems. Pulsating with coded signals, the hologram zoomed in on a specific system marked in vivid red. A series of glyphs appeared, accompanied by a steady, rhythmic pulse. "Warning," Dr. Kim translated, her voice steady. Sentinel Alpha was designed to alert emerging civilizations about threats approaching from beyond this sector. Ellis studied the map. "How long has it been here?" "Based on decay rates in the nanostructures, possibly millions of years," Dr. Kim answered. "Bye. Its creators vanished long ago, but the Sentinel remains, its mission unchanged." Rowe looked grave. "If this Sentinel has been watching us, what does it know about our future?" The hologram shifted suddenly, showing a cluster of dark shapes moving swiftly through space, vast fleets of unfamiliar warships heading toward the sector. "An invasion," Park said quietly. "Something large, dangerous, and fast approaching." Ellis clenched his fists. "We're not ready for that kind of threat." Dr. Kim shook her head. "Sentinel Alpha has more data, can help us prepare." Back on the Odyssey, the science team worked to interface with Sentinel Alpha's core systems. The living machine responded slowly, like awakening from a deep sleep. Data flooded the ship's network's advanced technology, star maps, weapon schematics, and even tactical protocols far beyond human knowledge. Captain Ellis gathered his senior officers in the briefing room. "This asteroid is more than a relic," Ellis said. "It's a guardian placed here to watch, protect, and, if necessary, warn." "Why didn't it contact us sooner?" Rowe asked. "Because we weren't ready," Kim answered. "It only revealed itself when it detected that we had the intelligence and technology to understand." The room grew quiet as the weight of the revelation settled in. "Sentinel Alpha warned us about an alien fleet," Ellis continued. "They're heading straight for us, and they're not interested in diplomacy." As the Odyssey prepared to return the away team, Dr. Kim transmitted a message back to the asteroid. "We want to learn. We want to protect. Will you help us?" For a moment, nothing happened. Then the asteroid responded, its surface lighting up in a complex pattern, shimmering like a beacon in the dark. Ellis smiled faintly. "It's a yes." The discovery of Sentinel Alpha shifted the course of humanity's future. No longer alone and unaware, Earth now held a guardian from an ancient time. But the looming threat was real, and the galaxy was about to learn that. Humanity was ready to fight. The Odyssey hummed with renewed energy as the crew integrated Sentinel Alpha's data into their systems. The asteroid's intelligence was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Ancient, vast and patient, yet filled with urgency. Captain Ellis convened a meeting on the bridge to discuss their next steps. Sentinel Alpha has been observing us for millennia. Ellis began. It's made clear that an alien force is advancing toward this sector. Our goal is to prepare for their arrival and protect our home and allies. Lieutenant Rowe frowned, tapping on his console. Do we know who this enemy is? What do we face? Dr. Kim pulled up a holographic display of the incoming fleet ships, large and sleek, designed for war. The data is fragmented, but it suggests a species known as the Karen. They've conquered many star systems, leaving destruction in their wake. Their technology is superior to ours, but Sentinel Alpha's knowledge may level the field. Ellis nodded grimly. We need allies. The message was sent across the colonies near Earth, and the response was swift but cautious. Many had heard legends of the mysterious Sentinel, but never believed it real. Now, faced with a tangible threat, the galaxy's scattered forces began to rally. Meanwhile, the Odyssey crew worked tirelessly to retrofit their ship. Sentinel Alpha's nanomachines extended tendrils into the ship's hull, interfacing and upgrading shields, propulsion, and weapon systems. The Odyssey was becoming more than a patrol vessel. It was a hybrid of human ingenuity and alien technology. Days passed. The asteroid surface continued to pulse with messages, coordinates, battle tactics, even protocols for teleportation maneuvers unknown to human science. Dr. Kim translated another set of signals. This technology allows for instantaneous teleportation across vast distances, bypassing enemy defenses. If we master it, we can strike first and disappear before retaliation. Captain Ellis paced the bridge, the weight of command heavy on his shoulders. We must train the crew in these new tactics and prepare for the inevitable confrontation. Then, just as Sentinel Alpha predicted, the alien fleet appeared on the edge of the Systema dark cloud, blotting out the stars. Alert sirens wailed through the Odyssey. The crew scrambled to battle stations, hearts pounding. Enemy fleet incoming. Rowe announced, weapons locked. Shields at maximum. Sentinel Alpha's holographic interface activated in the center of the bridge. A shimmering figure of light and code. This is Sentinel Alpha. It spoke in a calm, resonant tone. You are not alone. Use the knowledge I provide. Trust in your resolve. The crew exchanged determined glances. Steady, Ellis commanded. This is what we prepared for. The battle began with a deafening roar of energy blasts and explosions. The Charon fleet unleashed volleys of plasma, their warships cutting through space with ruthless precision. The Odyssey's new shields absorbed the attacks. Shimmering with the alien nanotechnology, at Ellis's command, the ship executed its first teleportation maneuver, vanishing from one position and reappearing behind the enemy. Fire at will, Ellis ordered. The sudden attack caught the Karen off guard. Odyssey's weapons tore through their defenses before disappearing again. The crew worked seamlessly, adapting to the new technology faster than expected. Amid the chaos, a transmission came through from a nearby colony ship. Odyssey, we're under attack. Requesting immediate assistance. Hold your position, Ellis replied firmly. We're coming. With Sentinel Alpha guiding the way, the Odyssey teleported through enemy lines, disrupting the assault on the colony. The alien fleet faltered, their formations broken by the unpredictable human tactics. Ellis allowed himself a brief smile. We're turning the tide. As the battle raged on, it became clear that humanity's combination of raw determination, creativity, and Sentinel Alpha's advanced technology was something the Karen had not anticipated. They fought not just for survival, but for the right to exist in a galaxy that had long underestimated them. The first contact with Sentinel Alpha was no longer a secret, was a beacon of hope and strength. Captain Ellis stood on the bridge, watching the stars streak past as the Odyssey pressed forward, ready to face whatever came next. The calm after the initial skirmishes was tense and brief. The Odyssey floated in a quiet expanse near the edge of the system, its hull still humming with energy from the recent battle. Captain Ellis stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the vast void beyond the viewport, knowing this was only the beginning. Enemy forces are regrouping, Lieutenant Rowe reported. They're sending reinforcements from nearby sectors. Ellis rubbed his chin thoughtfully. We need more than just quick strikes. We need a plan to hold the line. Dr. Kim tapped at her console, pulling up data streaming from Sentinel Alpha. The Sentinel's technology upgrades are remarkable. Its nanomachines are actively repairing our hull and enhancing our systems. But there's more. We've only scratched the surface of its capabilities. Engineer Park joined the conversation, excitement bright in his voice. Sentinel Alpha's teleportation technology isn't just for short jumps. It has protocols for coordinated fleet maneuvers, allowing multiple ships to vanish and reappear in formation. If we can master this, we could outmaneuver even the largest enemy fleets. Ellis nodded decisively. We'll train the crews of the nearby fleets in these tactics immediately. Out. Every ship counts now. Communications buzzed as fleets from Earth and allied colonies responded to the call. Messages poured in, requests for information, offers of support, and pleas for help. The galaxy was waking up to the reality of the threat, and humanity was at the center. Ellis held a briefing with fleet commanders aboard the Odyssey. Holographic maps displayed enemy movements and tactical options. The Karen are ruthless and experienced, Ellis warned. They expect us to be weak. But we have something they don't: technology from Sentinel Alpha and the will to fight. Commander Reyes, a veteran officer from the Earth Defense Fleet, leaned forward. The teleportation tactics could be a game changer. But training crews fast enough will be difficult. We don't have the luxury of time, Ellis replied. We'll start simulations immediately. The Odyssey will lead the training exercises. In the simulation room, crews from various ships gathered. The room buzzed with anticipation and anxiety. The holographic trainers displayed complex battle scenarios requiring precise coordination, timing, and trust in the new technology. Ellis observed quietly as young officers executed maneuvers that would have seemed impossible weeks before. Ships vanished from one point and reappeared behind enemy lines, delivering precise strikes and then disappearing again. Impressive, he murmured to Dr. Kim. They're learning quickly. Kim smiled. Human adaptability is one of our greatest strengths. Meanwhile, engineers aboard the Odyssey worked around the clock to integrate more of Sentinel Alpha's nanomachines into the fleet's ships. Each vessel became a hybrid of human design and alien technology, their hulls shimmering with the living metal that could self-repair and adapt. We're essentially creating a new kind of fleet, Park said, wiping sweat from his brow. One that can think and respond almost organically. Ellis felt a surge of hope. That's exactly what we need. But even as preparations continued, Sentinel Alpha's warning remained clear. A transmission arrived from deep space and encrypted. Distress call from a nearby colony under siege. The Charon had launched a surprise attack, their numbers overwhelming. Ellis didn't hesitate. Prepare to jump, he ordered. We're taking the fight to them. The Odyssey and its escort fleet disappeared from their position in a flash of light, reappearing at the colony's edge. The Charon warships were caught off guard by the sudden arrival, with coordinated teleportation strikes. The human fleet tore through the attackers, protecting the colony's civilians and infrastructure after the battle, as the Odyssey's crew tended to repairs and recovery. Captain Ellis reflected on the journey so far. We're not just defending our homes, he said quietly to Dr. Kim. We're proving that even a species once seen as primitive can rise to the challenge and protect what matters. Kim nodded. The galaxy will remember this moment not as a battle between species, but as a turning point in history. Ellis looked toward the stars beyond the viewport, determination etched on his face. This is just the beginning. We have to be ready for whatever comes next. The aftermath of the rescue mission left the Odyssey's crew physically tired but mentally alert. The colony's survival had been a small victory, yet the threat looming over the galaxy was far from over. Captain Ellis stood once again on the bridge. The stars outside as cold and distant as ever. Sentinel Alpha has been scanning beyond the Charon fleet. Dr. Kim reported, her voice steady but tinged with concern. There's something larger, moving behind them in even greater force. Ellis's eyes narrowed. How much time do we have? Not long, Kim replied. The data suggests this new threat has technology far more advanced than even the Charon. It's slow-moving but unstoppably an ancient force that consumes everything in its path. Lieutenant Rowe broke the silence. We thought the Charon were the enemy, but they're just the vanguard. The weight of the revelation hung heavy. The Odyssey and the fleets preparing to fight the Charon might soon face an even deadlier adversary. Meanwhile, deep within the asteroid Sentinel Alpha, the nanostructures pulsed with increasing intensity. The living machine had been silent for centuries, but now its core systems hummed with urgency. Sentinel Alpha, Ellis transmitted from the Odyssey. What do you know about this deeper threat? The response was immediate. A holographic figure flickered into existence on the bridge. Shifting form of light and geometric patterns. The entity is known as the Devourer, the Sentinel said. An ancient intelligence born from the collapse of stars and the destruction of galaxies. It moves slowly, consuming energy, life, and matter. The Charon seek only conquest. The Devourer seeks oblivion. Ellis's heart pounded. How can we stop it? The Devourer is beyond direct confrontation, the Sentinel warned. It cannot be defeated by force alone. Its destruction can only be delayed by unity and ingenuity. Dr. Kim leaned forward. That means our efforts against the Charon are vital not just for our survival, but to buy time. In the days that followed, the Odyssey and its allied fleets intensified their patrols. Training continued, weapons were upgraded, and communications with neighboring systems grew stronger. Yet, even as they prepared, shadows crept closer. Reports arrived of entire star systems falling silent, planets abandoned, and fleets destroyed. The galaxy's edge grew darker. Fear is spreading, Commander Reyes said during a strategy meeting. If the Devourer approaches, how do we maintain hope? Captain Ellis looked around the room. We don't just maintain hope, we become hope. The fleet commanders exchanged determined nods as the Odyssey continued its patrol. A new discovery added complexity to their mission. A derelict vessel, ancient and scarred, was found drifting near a destroyed star system. It was neither Charon nor human, but a relic from the Sentinel's creators. Inside the ship, Dr. Kim and the away team uncovered archives records of a civilization wiped out by the Devourer eons ago. Their last transmissions detailed desperate attempts to develop technology to stop the ancient force. They created Sentinel Alpha as a safeguard, Kim explained. A watcher and teacher for future civilizations who might rise to face the Devourer. Ellis studied the data. Their technology, combined with ours, might give us an edge. Back on the Odyssey, the crew worked tirelessly to integrate these new insights. Sentinel Alpha's nanomachines adapted, evolving in response to the ancient knowledge, Captain. Ellis addressed the crew over the ship's comm system. We stand on the edge of a battle unlike any before, he said firmly. Not just for survival, but for the future of all life in this galaxy. We will face fear. We will face loss. But we will never surrender. The response was a chorus of affirmations as the stars continued to shine beyond the ship's viewport. The Odyssey and its allies prepared to face not only the invading Karen, but the unstoppable devourer lurking in the darkness beyond. The true test of humanity's resilience, and the Sentinel's purpose, was only just beginning. The Odyssey had become a symbol not just of human ingenuity, but of hope across a galaxy on the brink of darkness. News of Sentinel Alpha's existence spread swiftly, uniting scattered colonies and fleets into a fragile but determined alliance. Captain Ellis stood at the helm, watching the star systems assemble their forces under one banner. "Communication channels are buzzing," Lieutenant Rowe reported. "Every fleet within range is responding to the call for unity." "Okay," Ellis nodded. "It's time we show the galaxy what humanity and its allies can do when united." Fleet commanders gathered on the Odyssey for a strategic summit. Holographic star charts hovered over the central table, displaying the known paths of the Charon and the ominous trajectory of the Devourer. Commander Reyes leaned in, pointing at the glowing red vectors. "The Charon are aggressive, but predictable. The Devourer is different. It moves like a shadow, slow but unstoppable." Dr. Kim added, "Our best chance lies in combining Sentinel Alpha's technology with advanced human tactics. The teleportation capabilities can give us the element of surprise, while the Sentinel's nanomachines can protect and repair our fleets." A murmur of agreement filled the room. In the days that followed, the Alliance began its preparations. Ships from various species were retrofitted with Sentinel Alpha's living technology, transforming them into adaptive, self-repairing vessels. Crews trained relentlessly, mastering teleportation maneuvers and coordinated strikes. Captain Ellis visited the training simulators, watching young pilots execute complex jumps and attacks with increasing precision. "They're ready," he told Dr. Kim, "ready to face whatever comes next." Kim smiled, "And Sentinel Alpha continues to learn from us. It's evolving alongside humanity." Then came the call-in urgent alert from the outer colonies. Karen forces have launched a coordinated assault on multiple fronts, Lieutenant Rowe announced. "They aim to break our lines before the Devourer arrives." Ellis's expression hardened. "We can't let them succeed. Prepare to deploy the fleet." The battle was fierce and relentless. The Karen unleashed wave after wave of attack ships, pressing hard against the Alliance's defenses. Yet every time the enemy thought they had the advantage, the Alliance struck back with unprecedented speed and coordination. The Odyssey and its fleet used teleportation to weave through enemy formations, peering suddenly behind enemy lines, disabling command ships, then vanishing before retaliation. During a critical moment, Ellis ordered a complex maneuver. "Prepare for simultaneous jumps," he commanded. "On my mark, strike their flagship and disrupt their command." The fleet obeyed, vanishing and reappearing in perfect synchronization. Their assault shattered the Charon flagship's defenses, throwing the enemy into chaos. Amid the battle, Sentinel Alpha communicated directly with the Alliance ships, providing real-time updates and coordinating movements with a precision no human commander could match. The alien technology had become an integral part of their strategy, an unseen partner guiding them through the chaos of war. But even as the Alliance gained ground against the Charon, the shadow of the Devourer loomed ever closer. Reports indicated the ancient force was advancing, consuming entire star clusters in its path. "We can delay it," Dr. Kim said solemnly, "but we cannot stop it forever." Ellis clenched his jaw. "Then we fight with every ounce of strength we have." As the Alliance celebrated their hard-fought victories, Captain Ellis received a message from Sentinel Alpha, simple but profound transmission. "Unity is strength. Together, you are." more than the sum of your parts. The path ahead is dark, but the stars themselves will guide you. Ellis looked up at the stars beyond the Odyssey's bridge, feeling the weight of those words. The battle was far from over. But for the first time, humanity was not alone. The galaxy braced for a battle unlike any before. The Alliance fleet, led by the Odyssey and empowered by Sentinel Alpha's ancient technology, gathered near the last safe system before the Devourer's advance. Stars flickered dimly as the slow but devastating force approached. A dark tide threatening to consume everything, Captain Ellis stood on the bridge, his face illuminated by the stars and the pulsing light of the Sentinel's interface. Around him, crews prepared weapons, checked systems, and steeled themselves for the unknown. Today, we fight not just for ourselves, Ellis said over the shipwide comm, but for all life that calls this galaxy home. The Devourer loomed into view, massive, shifting mass of energy and darkness, its presence warping space itself. The Alliance fleet formed tight formations, their ships humming with power. Sentinel Alpha's nanomachines spread from the fleet, like a living shield, enhancing defenses and repairing damage in real time. Teleportation arrays at full capacity, Lieutenant Rowe reported, ready for coordinated strikes. Ellis nodded. This is it. Execute the plan. The battle began with a series of teleportation strikes, fleets disappearing and reappearing to deliver rapid, precise attacks on the Devourer's tendrils and energy nodes. The ancient force recoiled but pressed forward relentlessly. Dr. Kim analyzed data in real time. Its energy signature fluctuates. Target the weak points, those nodes where the energy is less stable. Ellis coordinated the strikes, each ship teleported in synchronized waves, focusing fire on the identified points. Explosions of light rippled across the battlefield as the Devourer's structure faltered, but the creature adapted quickly. Its tendrils lashed out, distorting space and tearing at ships caught too close. Several vessels were lost in sudden bursts of darkness, swallowed by the entity's insatiable hunger. Despite the losses, the Alliance held firm. Sentinel Alpha's voice echoed in the minds of commanders. Focus on unity. Your strength is your connection. In a bold move, Ellis led the Odyssey on a higher-speed teleport behind the Devourer's Cora, swirling massive energy and destruction. Prepare. For direct assault, Ellis commanded. We strike at the heart. The ship materialized near the core, weapons blazing. The Odyssey's hybrid systems withstood the crushing forces, their nanomachines rapidly repairing hull breaches. With a final surge, the fleet concentrated fire on the core, destabilizing it. The Devourer shuddered violently, its form flickering. Sentinel Alpha's energy flared, amplifying the assault. Now, human ingenuity. Deliver the final blow. Ellis gave the order. The fleet unleashed their combined power in a dazzling display of light and energy. With a soundless explosion, the Devourer began to collapse, its consuming darkness dissipating into nothingness. Silence fell. The stars shone brightly again. The galaxy had survived. In the aftermath, Ellis stood on the Odyssey's bridge, gazing at the stars with a weary but hopeful heart. Sentinel Alpha's holographic form flickered beside him. You have proven worthy guardians of the galaxy. Ellis smiled softly. We couldn't have done it without you. The Sentinel's light dimmed gently. I will remain, watching, waiting for when you need me again. Humanity and its allies began rebuilding, their fleet stronger, their bonds deeper. The Sentinel's technology seeded new advances, promising a future where no species would face the dark alone. Captain Ellis knew that threats would come again, but so would hope, courage, and unity, because sometimes the smallest spark could light the darkest night.